The SOS had been ancient, faint, barely a whisper among the cosmic noise of the Orion spur. Yet it was clear enough for the Terran listening post Zeta-9 to decode a single desperate phrase to any sentient species. "Please, help. They are eating our sons." Commodore Rieva Andros stood on the bridge of the T.S.V. Hellstrike, the flagship of the 8th Deathworlder fleet. Her eyes scanned the star map as she listened to the recording again. The voice was alien guttural, melodic, and trembling with terror. She'd heard many distress calls in her years of service, but never one like this. "Origin point?" she asked. "Outer edge of the Glaverii expanse, ma'am," her comms officer replied. "Uncharted space. No known colonies." Rieva narrowed her eyes. "Then how the hell are they sending a signal?" "Unknown. It's bouncing off decaying wormholes, likely thousands of years old. But recent energy fluctuations suggest something still happening there." She didn't hesitate. "Launch the fleet." The Deathworlders, as the rest of the galaxy called humans, were infamous. Not for conquest, but for capability. They came from a planet that tried to kill them every day. Their wildlife was savage, their weather extreme, their gravity harsh, and their atmosphere barely breathable by galactic standards. Yet, they had thrived, and when humanity had finally reached the stars, they didn't seek domination. They offered aid, protection, and alliance. But when that failed, when innocent species cried out, the Deathworlders acted. When the fleet emerged from FTL near the source of the signal, the stars looked wrong. "Multiple stellar anomalies," the science officer muttered. 2 G-class suns partially collapsed, like something took bites out of them. "Radiation signatures?" Rieva asked. "None. But there's motion unknown objects, orbiting." "Put it on screen." The entire bridge fell silent. Orbiting what was left of the sun were creatures. Vast, glimmering, amorphous things, each the size of a dreadnought, made of energy and shadow. They shimmered between dimensions, phasing in and out like flickering ghosts. The AI identified no technology, no propulsion, no communication systems. Yet they moved, drifting toward the third planet of the system, where a faint shield dome still flickered across its surface. "That's where the signal came from," someone whispered. And then, without warning, a final burst of energy crackled from the planet, below a last attempt to scream for help. And the things heard it. They turned, and so did the Deathworlders. "Full combat deployment," Rieva ordered. "Form shield wall around that planet. And prep all anomaly-class weapons." "Ma'am, anomaly class hasn't been used since the Kepler Rift War." "I know. Use it." Within moments, the Deathworlder fleet began to move like clockwork. Battlecruisers deployed orbital platforms. Fighters screamed through the void. The Hellstrike positioned itself directly between the unknown creatures and the dying world. The things came fast, without engines, without sound, like living darkness, gliding across vacuum. The first wave struck the fleet with a force that bent light and broke space. Shields flared, hulls buckled. But the Deathworlders didn't break. Deploy graviton lances. Searing beams of blue light tore across space, catching one of the creatures mid-phase. It shrieked, a sound felt more than heard, and twisted violently before imploding into itself, vanishing in a burst of quantum static. "Confirmed kill." The weapons officer shouted. "Good," Rieva growled. "Let's give them a reason to fear us." But the things adapted. Each creature that died returned seconds later, slightly changed, denser, faster, resistant to whatever had hurt them before. It became a game of strategy, tech, and survival. The Deathworlders loved games like that. They used kinetic warheads that detonated with the mass of collapsing stars. They launched drones equipped with AI-built chaos matrices. They deployed waveform distortion fields and reality anchors that held space together with brute computational force. Each time a creature fell, data was collected, tactics adjusted, and the next shot hit harder. But the fleet was bleeding. Hulls torn open. Lives lost. Still, they held the line. Then, deep below the crust of the third planet, a vault opened. A single alien being emerged, a withered quadruped with crystalline skin and a mind half broken by centuries of isolation. It looked to the sky and saw human ships fighting gods. And it wept. "This is High Oracle Verin of the Rytail Dominion," came a psychic broadcast. "You heard us. You came." Reva responded instantly. "You sent an SOS. That's what we do. But they are the eaters of fusion, destroyers of starfire. Our whole species failed to stop even one." Reva's voice was calm. "We're humans. We don't give up." And then the fleet revealed its trump card. From the hangar of the Hellstrike, a massive construct deployed Project Helios, a Deathworlder-built mobile stellar core. It mimicked a star's radiation perfectly. The Eaters took the bait. They swarmed. And when they did, the fleet collapsed their containment net, sealing them inside a bubble of pure gravitational flux. "Detonate," Reva said. The explosion bent the laws of nature. Light screamed. Time stuttered. Space twisted. When it cleared, the Eaters were gone. Silence followed. Then cheers. The world was saved. The signal answered, a species preserved. For humanity, it had just been another rescue. But for the galaxy, the legend of the Deathworlders only grew stronger.